There are several typical mistakes men make, after which a woman quickly loses interest in them. Let's begin with the first mistake. A man behaves a bit clumsily or not quite tactfully, and the woman starts to focus on it, exaggerating the problem and even confronting him about it. It's like someone steps on your foot in the subway, and you immediately punch them in the face. Is that proportional? No. Who is wrong in this situation? The one who overreacted. But 90% of men start to feel a deep sense of guilt at that moment. They believe that if their beloved reacted so strongly, it must have hurt her. After all, you stepped on her foot, and she has a pedicure. Sure, there are situations where the man is indeed at fault. But if the woman reacts rudely, boldly, and disrespectfully, then that's an even bigger issue. If you start discussing the problem or, even worse, apologizing to the woman to calm her down, then no one will ever respect you again. Let her calm down, let her come to you, and let her apologize for her reaction. Then, you can discuss the issue. Therefore, if you have a conflict with a woman and you believe you are at fault, consider whether her reaction is proportional to your mistake. Was there a mistake at all, or is it all blown out of proportion? Did she try to constructively solve this problem, rather than just pick at you? How many attempts were made to approach you kindly and gently? Did she really put in the necessary effort to make things better? And most importantly, think about what she's trying to achieve. Is she trying to make the relationship better and stronger right now? Or is she trying to assert power in the relationship and that's why she's acting this way? We can support the first, but we'll resist the second with all our might because these are completely different things. If a man doesn't understand this difference, he'll easily be manipulated in any relationship. Can your effectiveness in relationships be assessed? Just by one parameter: how do you react to a woman's offense? Offense is the simplest way for a woman to gain power in a relationship. For maximum effect, the reason should be very plausible. And do you understand what that means? Even if you really made a mistake, behaved poorly, and sincerely want to apologize for it, it can be used against you. Your good intention won't be appreciated because reconciliation isn't always the woman's goal. More often than not, the goal is to gain power, not to reconcile, but the dynamics of the relationship will change. So, the ideal scenario to start with is to have developed sympathy to avoid situations where a woman could justifiably become offended. And if she gets offended unjustifiably, then we know what to do with that. The second point is the absence of demands. In other words, the role of a leader in a relationship implies that you are strict with yourself first and then with the woman. Why strictness? Because it subconsciously appeals to women. It's a role model. It resembles a father who was strict but fair and seemed loving. Often, a girl has her father as an ideal, so relationships should have fair but strict rules, subordination, and laws. Convincing someone to comply with them, to adjust, to spend time, energy, and strength on this is not interesting. Want to be here? If the terms don't suit you, do you want to argue about it, negotiate? I'm not holding anyone back. It should be honest, mutually beneficial, but strict. Conditions that are beneficial for the relationship and those that are not. And any decision should be considered through the prism of usefulness to the relationship. But most men have no rules, so they themselves cultivate a capricious child in the form of a woman. You've grown an egotistical monster with your own hands, and then you suffer and complain about life. Or, what's even worse, you hope the child will get smarter on their own. They behave with you exactly as you've trained them. The third point is the absence of adequate punishment. We're obligated to regulate our partner's behavior. First and foremost, we should encourage, and secondly, punish. What does a love-struck man do? He encourages. Endlessly. Just because. But he's reluctant to punish. In his eyes, the woman is delicate like crystal. But he's not protecting the relationship or even the woman. He's protecting his own romantic feelings. He'll give her anything just to keep her close and not scare her away. That's the thinking of a dependent person. If a man truly cared about the woman, he would never encourage nonsense. It's like putting a child in the corner and then agonizing over it. Maybe he's lonely. Tears are probably streaming down your cheeks by now. Well, in the end, of course, you quickly read him, give him another candy from above. But you're not doing it for the child, you're doing it for yourself so you won't feel sad. And you understand what will happen next. One day the child will ask to be put in the corner, will ask for it himself. He sees that dad is upset. You show significance, and then another candy. Excellent. Very good. Why not repeat it? In general, if you have regular conflicts with a woman, there's only one conclusion. It's profitable to argue with you. There are no other scenarios here. So think about what's in her best interest. Do you know what 90% of men don't understand? Just imagine the scene. Dad bought a bag of candy for his son, turned on the TV. Here, take it, son, you wanted this, right? You asked for it. Look, eat. What do we call this person? Well, irresponsible infantilism. After all, it's not beneficial for the child. But as soon as we talk about the desire of a beloved woman, everything changes immediately. Yes, strictness is no longer needed. No, are you kidding? Only flowers and romance exclusively. Fulfill every wish to make her happy, and then, maybe, you'll be a good guy. It's a lie. The child with a bag of sweets will be happy only for a while, but a spoiled wife will destroy family life to its core. Real care for a wife is not about fulfilling her whims. It's about knowing what will actually be beneficial. And this is far from always the popular decisions. Somewhere you'll have to stick to your principles and take risks. Not because you're callous and indifferent, but because it will be better for everyone. There's another very childish trick, testing a man for gullibility. I call it twisting the doctor. I want to confuse. When a woman loads him with vague and murky topics like, do you love me or not? What do you love me for? How much? At that moment, you don't need to write her love letters, or poems either. You just need to change the subject. Say, do you enjoy being with me? She'll say, yes, tell me you enjoy being with me too. Why discuss all this? Do you doubt it? He's like this. No, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt you either. And that's the most important thing. Remember why this is important. This is how women behave when they strive for 100% reciprocity, only to leave afterwards. Meaning, they fall in love with a guy, then jump to the next one. The next scenario is the same. If for now you don't believe it, you can test it out, confess and tell everything about your feelings in detail, and then see how it all ends after a few weeks. You never need to stress out in this moment. Just don't play the game she's offering. Well, suppose there's another option. You can simply say, let's have you answer that question first, and then give her a similar dose of confessions. How is she? Not more, not less. Often, in consultation requests, there's a test to see if you're a fool. Meaning, a woman demands trust, but there's no basis for trusting her at all. You know, I've never seen a good girl ask to be trusted. Why? She's already clear and transparent. Trust is something that people who are not trustworthy try to evoke. It's essential to be aware of our partner's needs and desires and to consistently demonstrate affection and gratitude. Through small gestures and attention to detail, we can strengthen our bond and build a solid and lasting relationship. In conclusion, let's not forget that love is an ongoing process of growth and improvement, where self-reflection and communication are the keys to success. I hope these ideas and suggestions will inspire you to improve your relationship and love truly and wisely.